You're listening to Playcallers. New episodes dropping every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Central Time. Available to stream across all platforms. Also, be sure to check out the Tiger's Den podcast. New episodes dropping every Monday at 3:30 p.m. Central Time. Available to stream across all platforms.
Hello, Playcallers fans. We are so happy to be recording this episode for you this week. We all had a great day supporting some Auburn University football and just an overall great weekend so far with beautiful weather. We are joined today by defensive tackle coach, Coach Halverson. Coach, how was your Saturday? And thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hey, you're welcome. Glad to be here. No, my Saturday was great. Got up this morning and did all my film grading work from the shutout last night, which is always a pleasure to watch my boys do their thing after a great night like last night. Then took my own son to the Auburn game and got back to the house, and I'm sitting on the back porch watching some more football. So it's been a great day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And with that, I'll send it to my co-host, Max Messman. Max, take it away.
All right, so good afternoon, Coach. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I always highlight one or two players on this podcast whenever I start off my little segment, and I wanted to highlight one player real quick. Senior defensive tackle Deuce White, who has 34 tackles along with 7 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 12 QB hurries, and an interception. What does Deuce mean for this team and to you personally?
Well, first of all, Deuce has been he's been a contributor for 3 years, which is that's rare at our level for a 10th grader to come up and contribute, and he did just that. And for the last 2 years, it's it's hard to measure what he means to us. Number one, he's kind of in addition to probably being the best player up there in the front, he's like the adult on the field. He's got that calming influence. He doesn't get too bent out of shape when things don't go right. He's one of the more quiet kids you'll meet, but he's such a leader. Just his play. I don't take any credit for what he does. Like you mentioned, he had an interception against Hoover in the first game. Yeah, that's a 290-pound kid that jumped 3 feet off the ground to make that play. But Deuce is unbelievable. I think you said he had 34 tackles, but really what he does so well is he gets double teamed on almost every play, and he makes it so easy for the linebackers and everybody else to make plays. He doesn't seek credit. He just seeks to do his job, and he's like I say, he's like the adult in the huddle and all that stuff. And I can't tell you how proud I am of him. And he makes me look like I know what I'm doing, which is tough sometimes.
Yes, sir. Talking about that leadership, I remember when we were in the studio running the broadcast on Friday versus Prattville, we actually zoomed in on Deuce because we had made a graphic for him before the game, including his tackles and sacks and whatnot. And we saw him on the sideline, and he was on the sideline, telling players, telling them tips on the sidelines and stuff, and just being a leader on and off the field. So, yeah, Deuce is a heck of a player. And now talking about that game on Friday night, I was actually analyzing the game from our studio, and I noticed that the defensive line, I said it on my halftime show and post-game show. I thought y'all played the best that y'all played all season. So, y'all have had some great performances all throughout the year, but I thought, y'all being able to get to the QB on pass plays as well as being able to stop the run up the middle, except for, just a couple of instances. But for you as a coach on the sideline, was there anything that you saw that either impressed you or that you thought y'all needed to work on throughout this upcoming week?
Well, as a coach, especially during the game, what I look for, my eyes are focused on the line of scrimmage, of course, because that's where my guys play. And we always talk about what we call the heel line, which is the heels of the offensive tackles and the offensive guards. The O-line, we talk about their heel line, and their heels are what 2 or 3 feet behind the football. And if we can get to that heel line, we can really affect anything that they're able to do. And I thought last night, we basically smashed those guys up front. We played on their side of the ball. They were on their heels all night. We were back there, and sometimes that doesn't translate into having a dozen sacks and things of that nature. Deuce on the sideline last night, I asked him late in the game, I said, how much more of this do you want? Because, he's the one guy that I've got that's earned the right to say, Does he want to play more? Does he want to come out? And he was like, Coach, I'm going to try to get a sack. I said, well, I understand. And it's just one of those things where, we reset the line of scrimmage all night. And I think that's what's important. They didn't really have an answer for just the big boys up front. The guys with their hands in the dirt kind of dominated the game. And as far as what we might need to work on, there's always, my little pet peeve that I talk to the kids about is your pad level. If you're 6 feet tall, don't play like you're 6 feet tall. Play like you're 5 feet tall. And we talk about crossing the O-line's nose to get to the football and getting off blocks quick, and not walking off blocks and violently removing ourselves from these blocks. And so that you can win 48-0, and if you walk off the field thinking you played a perfect game, you're kind of setting yourself up. So there's always things to work on, but it's it's sometimes it's tough to say those things on a night like last night. We'll talk about it tomorrow, and we'll be critical with the kids watching film, but then at the same time we'll be, hey, you see that? You see why you're a good player? If we don't need you to be better than you are, we need you to do that right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And speaking about, talk coming up, I know y'all have y'all's meeting, tomorrow. We record these for Playcallers listeners out there. We record these on Saturdays. And so y'all have y'all's meeting on Sundays, and then obviously the practice throughout the week. Talking specifically about your type of practice, when it comes to the defensive tackle position, is it more group-based, or would you say you try and spend time with certain players at certain times?
Yeah, that's a good question. Obviously it's a team sport, and especially the offensive and defensive lines kind of play as a unit. But at the same time, there's such an individual concept to it. My nose tackle will be, working against centers and guards. Deuce is working, he's what we call a 3 technique, which means he lines up on the outside shoulder of a guard, and so he's usually working, there. The ends are doing their thing. So, it's a team concept with kind of a little individual side to it. But as far as practice goes, I'm kind of a believer in the one-on-one, winning the one-on-one battles, because that's how you kind of affect your team is, you do your part. But at the same time, we work with the O-line and do a lot of 5-on-4 stuff. They've got 5 guys, we've got 4 guys. And so there are several periods in practice, we call it individual period, group period, and team period. Well, we'll work one guy at a time, then we'll work our whole group at one time, then we'll work our whole defense at the time. So it's there's a lot to it, but I would think that I focus mostly on the individual early in practice, and then we'll come together as a group. We'll get with the defensive ends, we'll get with the linebackers, and we'll work our blitzes and things of that nature. But when it comes right down to it, we talk about what are you doing with your hands? What are you doing with your feet? Where are your eyes? And so there's a huge individual concept to this, ultimate team game.
Yes, sir. I mean, I've been able to go out to a couple of practices with our CTSO, Mr. Dillard. And I mean,
right.
Yeah, I've seen how y'all practice, and it's very intense, but, very, very functional and very just, congruent. And I mean, y'all do a great job. And my last question before I hand it off to my co-host Reese, going into this last game of the regular season this week at Smith Station, after that big win over Prattville on Friday, what would you say the team's mindset is heading into that game against the Panthers?
Well, we realize what our team goals are, and each kid probably has individual goals, but and most of these goals probably involve what's going to happen in the playoffs. But you know what? Even though most of the outsiders would think that we would handle Smith Station easily, that's nothing that will be discussed. None of our players will come up. We'll come into the meeting room tomorrow, thinking that they've earned anything for next week. So our mindset is, look, we've got the road kind of goes on forever, but it starts on Friday. And if you can kind of limp into the playoffs, not being very satisfied with the way you played in your last game, or you can kind of charge into the playoffs by doing what you're expected to do. And like I said, we've got some great leaders in the front of the defense. Our 4 guys in front, with those 3 seniors out there, and we've got, some seniors behind them and some seniors behind them. And so I think that the maturity level on our team is, or on our defense, I should say, it's as high as it's been in a long time. And so I think our mindset's going to be, look, we know what's in store, but we also know what we have to do this week in order to be mentally prepared for what's down the line.
Yes, sir. I mean, during that, you talk about maturity level. I mean, yeah, I saw during that senior night presentation, I mean, y'all covered basically the entire field. There were so many seniors on the team.
Right.
And so I'm sure they're all hungry as well as you are for, because coming after that Smith Station game is obviously the playoffs and then hopefully a run to the state championship. But that's going to do it for my questions. And now I'm going to send it to my co-host, Reese Kinder. Reese, go ahead and take it away.
How's it going, Coach?
Hey, going great. Thank you.
Yeah, considering a big win last night for you guys, what's y'all's game plan going into the game against Smith Station? And also, when do you think you guys will start preparing your players for the playoffs?
Well, our game plan this week is going to be pretty simple, I would think. What we expect to do is play well on an individual level, on a defensive line level, as an entire defense. We all expect to play well. But, we also understand that, the deeper you get into the season, kind of the more wrinkles you want to be able to put in. And then there's that fine line between, what do we want to do that's brand new that playoff teams won't be expecting, but also do we want to show that and practice that? So our mindset's kind of a fine line between let's take care of business this week. Let's do that by doing what we have been doing. But also if there's something that we think we might need to do down the line, this will be a good week to, kind of practice it. And, and you can practice all you want Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But when you get under the lights, that's when you need to, run your new stuff and do this and do that. And we had some conversations in the office last night about, hey, you know what? Well, you remember what we did there in the third quarter? Maybe we need to do that more. Maybe we need to do that less, things like that. So our mindset is, let's win. Let's get mentally prepared for what's down the line. But if there's something we need to kind of unveil or get it on film to make the playoff opponents watch it and prepare for it, let's do that too.
Yeah. My second question is, what is your relationship with Coach Hall?
Coach Hall. First and foremost, he's a good friend of mine. I think we work very well together. He's in his third year here working with us. We're both Auburn guys, both grew up in Auburn, went to Auburn High School, stuff like that. But, I think we work so well together primarily because, he's more of a detail, kind of a hand-to-hand combat, if you will, kind of guy. He is so good at coaching the defensive ends on, hand placement and things of that nature, where I'm probably not as detail oriented as him. I'm probably more focused on, hey, let's be tough. Let's fill these gaps. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I think the combination has worked very, very well. But, like I say, first and foremost, he's a great friend of mine. Our sons are about the same age and they're buddies. And so I just couldn't, I can't, I've worked with, I think in my time at Auburn High, I've worked with 4 different defensive end coaches, and I tell you what, they've all been really good at parts of what they do, but Coach Hall's a total package, man. I couldn't be happier that he's here with us.
That's really special. But my last question is going to be, considering last night was senior night, what does this 2024 senior class mean to you?
It's one of those things where, I teach 6th grade, and so I met most of y'all, 4, 5, 6 years ago. And sometimes, I'll remember the name, but I won't remember the kid when they get to high school. But I'll say this about the senior class this year is I remember the names, and I remember so many of these kids just because, they tend to stand out. Guys like Deuce, Deuce's maturity as an 11-year-old was unbelievable. His maturity as a 17, 18-year-old is unbelievable. Just his, winner's mindset. Other guys like Amias Greathouse has kind of emerged as just a heck of a football player for us and a great kid. I've seen Caleb Crawford, mature as he's gotten older and turned into, somebody that we're going to count on day in and day out, this series, next series, and even guys like Dakarius Payne, Peanut, as we call him, Peanut.
Yeah.
Peanut's been around a while, and Peanut understands what his role is, and he feels it to perfection. And like I say, even the guys that I don't necessarily coach, every minute of the day, like the guys behind me, like Wyatt Trexler and PD and guys like that, Marquise and guys like that. I love being around these guys, and I would have told you that last year, and I probably will tell you that next year as well. But as far as this class goes, it's just an unbelievable dynamic, and the cohesion is so good that every one of them is one of the guys, but every one of them is also kind of a special standout kind of kid.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to go into a few more questions, and then we'll hit the outro and everything. But
all right,
my questions are a little more personal, a little off the football field, if that's okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely.
But first, I want to talk about what is your coaching mentality, not just with the defensive tackles, but the whole team. And how do you build relationships with your players?
Okay, well, that's a great question. I would say my mentality is really, one of control what you can control, and toughness kind of trumps all. If I had two wishes for every practice and every game, it's not to be the biggest kid out there, the strongest kid out there, the fastest kid out there. We can't do that, but I just want to be the smartest player at my position, and I want to be the toughest player at my position. I think if we're smarter than our opponents, as far as the game plan stuff and the football stuff, and if we're tougher than our opponents, that I think we've got a great chance to win. So, I wish we were all bigger, stronger, and faster. I wish I was bigger, stronger, and faster. But you know what I mean? I can be as prepared as I can be. And I think toughness is a choice, and I think we can be as tough as we can be. That's kind of my mentality as a coach, and I think the way you kind of build relationships is you say, look, I've been through the things that you're going through. The one thing we have in common is we love football, and I used to be 16 or I used to be 17, and maybe what's happened to me hasn't happened to you. Or maybe what's happened to you and happened to me, but you can find somebody here that has been through that. And so, I think the way I try to connect is to say, we're not judging you for being silly in class, and we're not judging you for how good of a player you are, but I expect you to be, smart, and I expect you to be tough. And then once, you a minute ago, you said these some questions might be, out of the realm of football. Well, that's what I try to do, during our pre-practice time is talk about non-football stuff. Hey, how's your car running? How's your sister doing? Hey, I know you're taking Spanish. How's that going? Things of that nature. And we can laugh and we can joke and we can have a good time together. And we all share a love of football, and we all share a love of sweat and dirt and stuff like that. And I think, once you communicate that, and once they know what I am is them, I'm just, a few years past that, so I think that's how you do it. I don't like fake enthusiasm and stuff like that. So I just, kind of be who I am, and that not trying to win friends and influence people. I'm just trying to, be who I am. And I think kids gravitate towards that. And especially because I try to tell them, what kind of player I was, which was I was no kind of player. And I try to tell the kids, I've gotten more out of the game of football than most anybody out there. And it's not because I was a good player. It's because, I took the lessons that the game taught me and have applied them to my life. And I'll talk about how I wouldn't have met my wife if it wasn't for football. And I might not be living here if it wasn't for football, just stuff like that. And I think that, real life stuff kind of makes people, think that's kind of interesting. And that's how you kind of build relationships with the younger players, I think.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir. I mean, we were talking to Coach, Gorham last week,
Right.
He was like, sometimes the game of football, it gets so stressful. You can put everything you have into the game of football, but sometimes you just got to talk to the kids about life, and you just got to
Right.
check up on them every now and then, and that's just super special to see. And then
Oh, yeah.
I want to talk about something that you actually talked about earlier. What is the dynamic to teach kids at Drake and then
Yeah.
see some of those same kids grow up to play football for you and for the entire team?
Oh, I mean, well, to me, it's unbelievable. There's a lot of kids at Drake. They're 11 and 12-year-old kids, and when I was 11 and when you were 11, we mostly acted like we were 11. And so, and one of the things that I really enjoy is there'll be kids that have never been basically told that they were wrong, and so then they get to Drake and they're being disciplined, they're being reprimanded, and they don't know how to handle it. I've seen. I had a player that was on that 2020 team. I won't name him, but I remember he was so out of control at Drake that he had to have basically a male teacher escort him from class to class because he couldn't be trusted to walk by himself. And and so my opinion of him was he can't control himself. Well, then fast forward 4 years, I get him as a 10th grader on the D line, and he's changed a little bit. Then I get him as an 11th grader. And he's changed a lot. And then I get him as a 12th grader. And, he's somebody I would trust to babysit my own kids. And to me, when you look back, in 6 years to an old guy like me is a pretty short period of time. But when you look back and you can see that transformation happen over 5 or 6 years, it just kind of makes you smile. And like I said, I don't take any credit for that other than, there's not a lot of men in the teaching field in the elementary school. You don't really see that till you probably get to junior high and high school. And so I just, I try to be there as just kind of an adult, and kind of give them my 2 cents. But I love to see those transformations. I love teaching at Drake, so I'm taller than most of the kids. And when I get to the high school, that's not the case. And so I love to see the kids grow up. But especially, like the kid I was talking about a minute ago, I love to see the maturity, just kind of naturally take place with a gentle shove from some of us sometimes.
Yes, sir. I mean, all I can say about that is I know I've definitely matured since 6th grade. 6th grade
Right.
was a little bit of a rough time for me. But
oh yeah,
what does the city of Auburn mean to you and your family living here, your kids going to Auburn City schools, and you teaching at Drake Middle School?
Well, the city of Auburn, I don't even know if I can accurately, kind of reflect on what Auburn means to me. I moved here when I was 6 years old. My dad got a job my dad was a professor. And so I moved to Auburn when I was 6 years old, about a month before I started at Cary Woods Elementary School. And, of all the great things that have happened in my life, and that's a long list, I've been very lucky. But, once you get past Jesus Christ and my parents, I think most influential thing in my life is all things Auburn. Like I said, I would not have met my wife if I wasn't in Auburn. I would not have, probably, I wouldn't have these 2 kids if that wouldn't have happened. And, I don't know, I don't credit Auburn with everything great that's happened to me, but I couldn't imagine doing what I do anywhere else. From the church I was a member of growing up, and Auburn Parks and Rec, from baseball, football, basketball, and everything else that I did as a child to starting at Cary. Back when I was that age, there was only 3 elementary schools, and I was lucky enough to live in Cary Woods. So from Cary Woods to Boykin, to Drake, to Auburn Junior High, to Auburn High, to Auburn University. I can't, some people ask me if I knew that I was able to leave if I wanted to. I said, yeah, I know I can leave Auburn if I want to, but I don't see anything anywhere else that could offer what Auburn's offered me. So I can't sell this town any better than it has sold itself to me. But I just, if I could do it all over again, I would, but I would do it right here.
Yes, sir. I mean, Auburn, special place. It's true that people never want to leave Auburn,
Right.
even if they could, like you said. I mean, the opportunity that's in Auburn, the people, I mean, the atmosphere. Literally today, going downtown, you see 500 tailgates downtown. I mean, just the atmosphere and everything. It's just awesome to see. And we're so glad that you're here in Auburn and giving your knowledge to our players and to us today. And then with that, I got my last question. Is there anything else you want to say to the fans, the students, with the regular season ending this Friday?
Well, you know what? I do want to say this. I've been in Auburn a long time. I've been in Auburn since the 70s, and so I've kind of seen the transformation of Auburn High School sports fans. And to me, that's one of the greatest things about the last probably about 15 or 20 years is that when I was growing up, you look up in the stands and you saw people wearing orange and blue, and you heard an occasional War Eagle at Auburn High School events, and you're like, okay, well that's not us, but I guess I understand, because there was very little, I should say, civic pride in what we do as a school system and as an athletic department in our school system. But I'll tell you what, right now, it's unbelievable. And I've been lucky. I've coached a bunch of sports. I've coached football for 25 years. And so I've been a lot of places in this state, and I've seen a lot of civic pride in their high school sports. But I don't think now any of that is matched by what we have here. So all I want to tell, the Auburn High School students and parents and just community members is, I want to say thank you, because it's a very special feeling just to kind of walk out on Friday nights and you see 8 or 9 or 10,000 people that are there, and it's just for the kids that we spend so much time with. I also want to tell our high school students, my daughter being one of them, that please understand that you are living in a very special time for Auburn High athletics. Don't take this for granted. Be there with the unit, have a great time. Do it again when it's basketball season. Do it again when it's baseball and softball. But understand that you are lucky and we are lucky because of what this city and what this school system has done for all of us. And I look forward to seeing the unit. Hopefully, we got some kind of weird tiebreaker scenarios in front of us. I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but I look forward to seeing them at Smith, and I look forward to seeing, all of our people down in, whether we're in Mobile or whether we're in Phoenix City or whether we're at the Duck. And I appreciate what they do for us, and I look forward to Friday and Friday and Friday and Friday and Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, Max and Reese, do y'all have any more questions for Coach Halverson?
I don't have any more questions, but I would just like to say, Coach, thank you so much for your time. And one thing that actually kind of hit home for me is when you talked about, being that kind of like adult, at, Drake, being the Spanish teacher in the 6th grade, knowing that 11-year-olds are going to be 11-year-olds. I actually remember having your Spanish class in 6th grade.
Right.
I remember going in there, and it was like the first week. I talk a lot, admittedly, especially back then, and I remember you'd kind of get on to me for that. And at first I was like, oh, this guy, telling me to, be quiet and stuff. It's like, oh, I don't really like that. But as it progressed and as I've gotten older and matured more, I mean, that was one of the things that's really helped me to, mature and become the man I am today. So I'd just like to say thank you for that. And thank you for being on this podcast with us.
Hey, thank you for that. I try to swing the crowbar of logic sometimes in that class.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes it hurts, but it'll pay off. Hey, but I appreciate you saying that.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Hey, you're welcome.
Yeah, I don't have any other further questions, Coach, but me as well. I got taught in your class a few years ago, and you've just been a mentor since then. And thanks for allowing me to be where I am today.
Hey, again, thank you, and we're all lucky with the situation that we've been placed in, and I appreciate y'all having me, and I appreciate the kind words, certainly.
Hello, and these are the sounds of the game. I was able to get at the Prattville game for senior night. I was able to get a few interviews with Coach Etheridge at pregame, halftime, and at the end of the game. And then I was also able to get an interview with Coach Smith. I was able to get interviews with Towns Magoo, Cody Palmer, Tyler McKinnell, and Omar Mabson. And I hope you guys enjoy these interviews you're about to hear. I'm here with Coach Etheridge. Coach, what's the news on Jackson Kilgore tonight? Is he ready to go for the Tigers?
I think Jackson's ready. You'll see him tonight. He'll get in there and get some snaps and throw it around a little bit, see what he looks like. We don't want to get banged on a lot tonight, but it'd be good to get him in there and see him throwing it a little bit. And I love seeing him out here, practicing, warming up and stuff. I think that it's going to be key to have those two guys ready for the playoff run, and then we got some young guys behind them who hopefully get some playing time too. Definitely, in the coming weeks before we get into the playoffs.
Are you guys going to come out slow on offense tonight, or are you guys going to do a fast approach and just run it up?
Always try to come out fast on offense. Always try to come out fast on offense. Try to put points on the board. And we're not going to try to do anything slow. Always fast.
Now, my last question before I let you get with the team, what does this senior class mean to you?
It's a great class, great group of young men, kids that do it right, and just love every one of these guys, and appreciate every one of these guys, and just a group that pours their heart and soul into it, and they play hard for each other, and that's what's special. And there's all types of them. Some I got a pat on the shoulder, some I got a kick in the butt. But all of them are great kids. So excited about seeing how far this senior group can take us.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Thank you, buddy.
We are 40 minutes away from senior night here in Auburn. Auburn's about to face off against Prattville. Prattville, actually, their offensively, they've been really good this season. Defensively, not so much. Gave up 39 against Percy Julian last game and lost at home. So Prattville's going to look to bounce back here tonight at Duck Sanford Stadium. Very tough environment. The crowd is already packing the Duck, and it's a pink out tonight for senior night, also representing breast cancer awareness. And we are exactly 40 minutes away from an exciting matchup between the Auburn Tigers and the Prattville Lions. This should be a good one here on the Plains. I will see you guys at the start of the game for kickoff. About 2 minutes and 50 seconds till kickoff, and the Tigers are about to take the field through the tarp, and the band is ready, and the football team looks ready. We were in the locker room. Sadly, did not get a recording of that in the locker room, but team looked pretty hyped. Senior night here on the Plains, like I said earlier, and just looking for an exciting game. Like Coach Goldsby said, on defense, he just expects the linebackers to be able to cover up front and the pass and everything like that on defense. And then offensively, Coach Etheridge is just expecting a good game like the offense has been playing. Just no turnovers and no mistakes. And it looks like the Tigers could pull out a victory here tonight on senior night. But we're about 2 minutes away. The captains are at midfield meeting with the refs for the coin toss. And we are ready for a big senior night game here on the Plains. Could be the last game for some of these seniors if Auburn does not win tonight or against Smith Station. So we will see what happens tonight. I will see you guys at the end of the first quarter, and I'm hoping to enjoy this game. Is the end of the first quarter, just about to start the second quarter here with Jackson Kilgore in. Jackson Kilgore actually threw a touchdown pass in the first quarter along with a Tyler Flake's big run for a touchdown. And Auburn is up 17-0 at the start of this second quarter. I will see you guys at halftime, but so far it's been a pretty interesting game. Auburn looking pretty good on defense and offense. Prattville did miss a field goal at the end of the first quarter, and Prattville has yet to score any points, so Auburn's defense is locking in this game. And I will see you guys at halftime. I'm here with Coach Etheridge at halftime. Auburn is at 34-0 lead. Coach Etheridge, what does your team look like this first half? Considering 34-point blowout right now.
I think we look pretty good. Yeah. What do you think?
I think we're looking amazing out there, offensively and defensively.
Yeah, we're playing good. We're taking care of the football. We got a couple push foul penalties I did not like the one down here. We had it inside the 5-yard line. It pushed us out. We had to kick field goal. And then down there, we gave them some field position by getting one run, and it's after the play stuff. We can't have that. You know, our guys know better, and they got an earful when they got the sideline.
Yeah.
So we'll get that fixed.
Considering last game, you know, you guys turned the ball over a lot. You guys have limited the turnovers. How have you felt about that, especially with Henry Allen and Kilgore switching out at quarterback as well?
Yeah, they're both playing really, really good right now. You know, we just got to continue, keep our offensive line doing what they're doing, getting on blocks and staying on blocks. We're running the ball hard. You know, receivers are doing a great job of catching the ball. Griff's got some good catches. Gibby's got some. Ian Nation's got some great catches. You know, all those got. Cody's got some. So all those guys are doing their part. We just got to continue to do that and continue to get the ball to Flakes and continue to get the ball to Omar.
Yeah. Now, getting off the offensive topic, how do you think you guys have done on defense, considering a 34-point blowout, like I said earlier? You guys have forced the QB to go to the right side about every time I've seen. And, you know, you guys on defense have just not allowed any big plays.
Yeah, defense is doing a great job of keeping that guy hemmed up and pushing him to the sideline. You know, we just got to stay on our guys and don't let them break free downfield. You know, we gave up one right there before half that we sort of lost contain. We got it to the guy and he made a good play. But other than that, I think we played pretty good. You know, I think the defense is getting after it. You know, we returned a kick inside the 10-yard line and we held them to a field goal and they missed it. So, you know, we got to continue to do that.
Yeah, thanks, Coach, and enjoy the second half. Here with quarterback Jackson Kilgore. You know, Jackson, you came back from the injury, threw a touchdown pass your first few plays of back from injury. How do you think you've done this first half?
Obviously not too bad. There's some mistakes that we can improve upon, but other than that, I feel like it's a good first half. I mean, we're up
34-0. Yeah, 34-0. What are you guys going to work on in the second half to, you know, maybe finish this game off?
I don't know if we're going to put subs in or whatever, but obviously just keep improving on things, be ourselves, play for the A, baby. Thank you.
I'm here with Coach Smith, special teams coach. Coach Smith, you know, your special teams look pretty good, especially Towns kicking a few field goals in the first half. How do you think they've looked?
Yeah, I think they've been, you know, come out in the first half and they came, you know, with a good mindset, just being focused, and that's what we have to do every week. No matter who we play, no matter who's across, you just got to be focused on your job. And everybody do their job, and I'm sure we can, you know, to good results.
Yeah. Now, considering it's senior night, what does this senior class on your special teams mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. I mean, I've been with these guys since their sophomore year. You know, 3 years went by so fast, like including, you know, Towns, you know, JR and London, and even my son Davis and Tyler McKenna. Been known for a long time, so it's just a special moment. You know, trying to get too emotional, but you know, we're up right now, so we're doing good.
Now, what does it mean to walk your son out there for senior night as a dad, and your son's playing on the team?
Yeah, it felt good. You know, I tried to keep my composure right before the game, but got a little bit emotional. I held it in. Like I said, we just keep playing the second half with him, and he got his first snap at field goal for the whole year, so he did pretty good on that. So I got pretty emotional on that. Just it's a great experience, and I won't take it for nothing.
What are you looking for in the second half for your special teams?
Just staying crisp, you know, no matter what the score is, doing your job, do what you're supposed to do.
Thanks, Coach. It is the end of the third quarter. Auburn up 41-0. Towns Magoo almost kicked a 61-yarder to be two shy of the record. He had 3 attempts because 2 timeouts, one by Auburn and one by Prattville, but he was not able to come up on the third attempt. So, Auburn is up 41-0 at the end of the third quarter. We're about to start the fourth quarter here with the Swag Surfer, and I will see you guys at the end of the game with Coach Etheridge and many of the players. Get ready for an exciting bunch of interviews at the end of this game. I will see you guys later. Here with senior Cody, and you know, you guys a big win tonight. How do you think you performed?
Well, we just had a game plan, and obviously we got our quarterback back, and obviously Henry came and just showed up and played well too. So I felt like the team played well as a whole and just did our thing and shut them out.
What does this 2024 class mean to you?
Well, this class are my brothers. I've been playing football with them forever, so this win means a lot, and I love this class.
Thanks, Cody.
Yeah, of course.
Coach E, big win here, 48-0. You guys have Smith Station next week. What are you guys going to work on in practice this upcoming week to get ready for that game?
Got a lot to work on, you know. Got a couple silly penalties, you know. We got to make sure we you know, eliminate those things. did a good job of taking care of the ball this week. You know, did a good job of, you know, defensively played great. You know, held them out right there. You know, offensively, you got on blocks, stayed on blocks, ran the ball well, had 2 backs over 100 yards. You know, threw the ball well. So, you know, really pleased offensively and defensively. But there's still a lot of little things that we can polish up and just get better and, you know, get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, the week after, speaking of the playoffs, the week after Smith Station, you guys are going to be in the playoffs. And what are you guys going to work on to, you know, be a contender in this playoffs that we have?
Just got to continue to get better every single week. You know, first we got to beat Smith Station.
Yeah, got to worry about one game at a time.
Station first, and then we'll worry about after that. We'll worry about playoffs. We'll see where we fall as far as, you know, what place we are in the region, and see if we got to go on the road or if we get to play at home. You know, I'm not sure right now. It looks like it's a 3-way tie for second place. So,
yeah.
You know, we can fall second, third, fourth.
Yeah.
And we don't. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're just glad to be in it. Glad to still be playing. You know, we got Smith Station next week, and that's what we got to focus on right now.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
I'm here with Coach Goldsby. What's one thing you would say to your seniors that are leaving this year?
You know, they've busted their tail for us. I love them, number one. I would say that. I would say thank you for all that you've done for us. I've told them all the time how much I love them, how much I appreciate everything they do. Sometimes during the football season, you don't always get that message because you're getting coached, but I love every single one of them. There's a lot of boys in the school that don't come out here and do what they do, and they do it for us and for each other, and so I love them, and we're going to try to play this game tonight, best game we've played all year for those guys.
Which seniors stand out to you the most?
I can't pick out one. Right now I'm thinking of Wyatt because, you know, he tore his ACL. I can't single out these guys because, you know, we talk to them all the time about playing together as a team and playing for each other, and they've done that for us this year, so I can't just single out one guy.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
I'm here with Tyler McKinnell. You know, Tyler, possibly your last game at Duck Sanford Stadium. How do you think you performed?
I think we as a team performed well. You know, we put up 48 points, which is huge, especially in a region game. My performance, I think, pretty good. Had 1 punt and went well, but just glad we got the win.
Yeah. How has this senior class affected you?
Well, it's been a brotherhood. We've all, over the summer, really gotten closer with Christ, which is a big deal in life. You know, giving your life to Christ is one of the best things you can do. And we've all been a strong brotherhood and keeping each other accountable and working together, which ultimately helps us on the football field.
Thanks, Tyler.
Of course, man.
All right, I'm here with Towns Magoo, kicker for Auburn Tigers. And, you know, Towns, you had a great game tonight. How do you think you did, especially last game possibly at Duck Sanford Stadium?
Yeah, growing up here playing soccer, and then playing football last season, this game definitely meant a lot, you know, playing at this home turf. But, man, even missing that, you know, that 60-yarder, making it twice, and then missing it the third time, you know, when they didn't call a timeout. Can't be too upset when we get a result like this. Definitely down in the moment and a little frustrated, but, man, our team played so good. Defense shut them out. Offense, you know, scoring touchdowns like crazy, and when they weren't, we could get 3 points on the field goal. So just super exciting.
Yeah, and my last question is, how has this senior class impacted you?
Yeah, I mean, let me come in last year as a new guy, first year. They really just were very welcoming. Growing up with everybody since I moved here in elementary school, and really this whole football team is so talented, especially the senior class. There's so many guys overlooked when it comes to college recruiting, and people will find out in the playoffs. We got such a talented senior class, such great guys, and we try to lead this team so well, and I think we're doing a great job of it.
Thanks, Towns. I'm here with running back Omar Mapson. Omar, what a game you had here tonight. How has this senior class, 2024 class, impacted you as a player?
They impacted me a lot. Griffin McLean, Tyler Flakes, Jalen Foster, Henry Allen. It's just great. It's just great playing with them. And my brothers, they just created new. They just created new relations and just good friendships.
How has your offensive coordinator, Coach Wagon, impacted you as a player?
Oh, he's impacted me a lot. Losing that Central game, the next week he came in and said he wanted 50 on the board. So, hey, we gave him 48, close to 50, close enough.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that this week. But thanks for interviewing, Omar.
Sure. Thank you.
Well, that's going to do it for episode 10 of Playcallers. Thank you so much for listening, and a huge thank you to Coach Halverson for joining us tonight and being a mentor for all three of us in the Auburn City school system. Be sure to keep up with the episodes, and wherever you're listening, we hope you have a blessed rest of your day. See y'all next week.
Thanks for listening to this week's edition of Playcallers. Be sure to check out our episodes dropping every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Central. Also be sure to check out our other podcast, The Tiger's Den, where we dive into the world of sports. Be sure to check out those episodes coming out every Monday at 3:30 p.m. Central. Thanks for listening.